What's good, YouTube? My name is Kosher Nostra, back at you guys with another sneaker review, unboxing, and of course that on-feet look with the sock combo, guys. Let's jump right into another one. Alright guys, this one is super delayed, but if I'm gonna be the Kyrie guy, I gotta do all these Kyries, right? So the Nike Kyrie 6, the colorway is white/black and pure platinum in a size of 11. Guys, let's rip these out the box and check this pair out, fam. Alright guys, there they are in hand, the Nike Kyrie 6. In what has been dubbed, of course, the cookies and cream or the Oreo colorway, whichever one you prefer. Guys, this is a really simple colorway. Honestly, as I've stated before, and with a lot of these cookies and cream colorways, this is almost a Team Bank colorway. It's just so stripped down, so plain, really conforms to just about any team colorway right here, just because white, black, nothing else on the shoe except for a tiny little stab of silver, which we'll touch on a little bit later. Just a really easy shoe to pair not only with any team jersey, but really with any fit. Just a really clean, simple colorway, as we've stated. The shoe is almost entirely white. I would say the shoe is probably something like 80 to 85% white. Even the sort of quote-unquote cookies and cream or Oreo elements of the shoe are very subtle, and in my opinion, out of the three colorways that dropped the same day of this cookies and cream colorway pack, which was going to be this Kyrie 6, that Giannis Freak 1, and of course the PG4, out of all three of those colorways, to me, this was the most toned down of the three, the most subtle of the three, really the plainest white of the three is probably the easiest way to describe the shoe itself, and that can either be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what you particularly like in sneakers. As I've stated, because it's a white and black shoe, you can wear these with really anything, especially in the summer or springtime. I know a lot of people get hung up on wearing sort of lighter colors when it comes to spring and summer as opposed to fall and winter. The shoe itself features that pretty much all white upper, whether we're talking about the actual textile knit portions of the toe box, the strap itself, the tongue, the laces on the shoe, or even the back portion that sort of surrounds your heel and your ankle, which is going to be actual leather. All of those portions of the shoe are comprised of predominantly white. Really the only element that has any black to it is going to be on the strap, where you see some very minor cookies and cream speckling to the strap itself. Almost like you went and bought that Walmart brand cookies and cream ice cream. You don't got the thick chunks of cookie up in there. You've just got some really finely grounded up cookie hits on that strap. And while I am generally a sucker for midsole speckling, to me it's just super subtle on this. The actual speckling, the actual dots themselves are extremely small. They get a little bit bigger as you work your way to the medial portion of the shoe, where you see the Roman numerals of 6, and there's sort of a different kind of hit of plastic material right there. The speckling on that portion stands out a little bit more, and it extends all the way down onto the midsole right on that portion of the strap. On the medial portion only. On the lateral portion of the midsole, it's all white or it's all black. You don't have any speckling whatsoever. And to me, honestly, the speckling a lot of times is really what gives it the cookies and cream dubbed name. You do have dual swooshes on both sides of the shoe, on the lateral and medial portion of the shoe. Both the swooshes are actually stitched on there. On the lateral portion of the shoe, the swoosh is a little bit bigger and stitched onto that leather. When you turn and look at the actual medial side on that back heel portion of the shoe, the swoosh is a little bit less pronounced, a little bit smaller right there. Because the outsole is predominantly black, you do have hits of black encroaching on the midsole in portions, as you can sort of see where they kind of worked some of the lines of the outsole into the midsole, especially on the medial portion of the shoe. As Kyrie and a lot of point guards and a lot of people that are sort of shifting and pivoting on their feet tend to really bend your ankles inwards a lot, so you can see they sort of extended the outsole, especially on that toe cap portion of the shoe, which is something that they've done on the Kyrie line for a while now to really extend the traction, no matter how much you're really kind of pivoting your feet or your ankles or your knees or whatever, to really kind of lower yourself to the ground and make that first real explosive push towards the basket or towards the three-point line or whatever the case may be. On that white tongue, of course, you do have a black Kyrie Irving logo on both tongues, as the colorway on the shoe on the left and right shoe are pretty much identical. There's one small difference in my opinion. As we turn and look at the back heel portion of the shoe, when you're looking right there dead on at the booty, you of course see that heeler's hand with the all-seeing eye right inside, which is going to be on that sort of rubberized heel counter. I really like the heel counter and how it feels on feet. To me, it's very forgiving while at the same time really locking you in and giving you the confidence when it's on your feet, really to make any kind of a directional push in this shoe. I think this is just a great overall shoe, as long as they fit you good. Of course, Kyrie's tend to run very narrow, so people you're going to be sizing up on these, generally a half size, sometimes a little bit more, depending on if you're trying to give yourself room to grow into these shoes, or if you have really wide feet. Sometimes you might want to size up a little bit more than just that traditional half size, which is something I've really done in Kyrie's from the 1. I know some people sort of made that transition starting with the Kyrie 3, but for me it was all the way from the Kyrie 1 I've been sizing up. You do have the little stab of pure platinum on the midsole on the front lateral portion where they feature that Zoom turbo unit, which of course is located under the forefront of the shoe. To me, the Zoom turbo unit is an amazing addition to the Kyrie line. Whether you loved or hated that fly strap on the Kyrie 5s, the Zoom turbo unit was something that I think a lot of people, if they got the chance to experience it, really loved it. Nike definitely loves it. They've actually implemented that into the Kobe 5 Protros, so they've actually worked Kyrie's Zoom turbo bags into those shoes as well. So something I definitely expect to see from the Kyrie 7, whether they may tweak it a little bit or whatever going forward. Something I definitely expect to see them expand upon as the line continues. And then guys, as we turn to that outsole, the outsole is basically all black. You do have Kyrie Irving's signature sort of right there in the middle of the outsole. And then under that forefront of the shoe, we once again have the return of the all-seeing eye. On both shoes, it's marbled. On the left shoe, the white portions of the marble are a little bit more pronounced. I honestly did not realize that until literally when I was outside getting film of these things. Luckily, I looked at both outsoles at the same time, and that honestly was a feature that I really dug. Even though, again, it's on the outsoles, it's something that people are not always gonna see, especially as these shoes, you know, age and wear and get dirty and you step in mud and stuff like that. Something that doesn't nearly stand out as much. I think it would have been dope if they had left the left shoe the way it is, and then maybe done sort of like a reverse marble on the right shoe. So they'd actually gone with like a black all-seeing eye on the right shoe and then marbled the rest of the outsole. I think that would have been sort of a cool contrast between the two shoes, and maybe something that would make this particular colorway a little bit more memorable, as even though I do dig this colorway, I still feel like it's a very forgettable, unfortunately, colorway, and probably a colorway that really won't get the appreciation that it deserves until maybe a couple years from now, when these things are a lot harder to find in this condition, and most of them have been dirtied and muddied up because of that stark all-white upper, especially that textile toe cap. Guys, what do you think of these? Is this a boring colorway? Is this something that speaks to you just because it is toned down and it's something that's a little bit simpler? I mean, everybody's style is different, so some people like those really loud colorways, some people like the simpler colorways, which definitely makes a lot of sense to me. However, guys, when you end up with hundreds of pairs of shoes, it always takes that sort of extra added element to really justify the purchase or make it a memorable pair in your collection. At least that's just how I feel personally. Guys, let's check them out on feet. As always, thank you guys for rocking with me in my video and supporting me. All the love, all the comments, all the thumbs up, all the views, man, it means the world to me, guys. I can't express that to all y'all enough, so thank you very much for rocking with me, supporting me in everything I do. Guys, let's check them out on feet. Stay blessed, fam. Stay safe, fam. Respect and love one another out there, guys. There's definitely not enough of that to go around, guys. We are all human. We're all in this struggle together, and as long as you strive to be a little bit better tomorrow than you were today, then you're doing something right in my book, guys. Much love. Peace.